Hi. Oh, I didn't hit. Hi, guys. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Nice to see you all. And thank you for joining me. We're talking about what the trick for love is. And I'm a little dark on Instagram. I don't know how to fix this. Well, I'm not going to fix it because I don't know why it is. Let me bring my microphone a little closer so you guys can hear me. Good morning, everyone on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell too. You'll get an alert when I go live. And I'm glad you're all joining me because it's Valentine's Day. Love and hearts to all of you. And we're talking about what the trick, T.R.I.C.K, to love is. And let me tell you why this is so important. Okay. But before I do that, let me tell you who I am. So I'm Celia Kibler. I'm family and relationship empowerment coach. And I am here to help you guys with your families, with your relationships, making them as strong as they can be. I am the author of Raising Happy Toddlers, How to Build Great Parenting Skills and Stop Yelling at Your Kids, as well as 3 children's books. And you can get all my books at celiasbooks.com, celiasbooks.com. Okay. I'm a mommy of 5, 2 I gave birth to, 3 I gained through marriage, and a grandma to 9. And I have been married to my second husband for almost 28 years. My first husband, I was married for 15 years. So I have been in long-term relationships. First marriage, obviously, didn't work out. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Right? Right. Okay. But let's talk about love because today is the day of love. And I really wish that all of you would have the day of love every day. Every day should be a day of love. Thank you for saying I'm amazing and my tips are helpful. Whoever that is. Is that CL? Who is that? Who is that hiding behind that comment? Thank you for your comments and thank you for your shares because wouldn't it be nice if we built more love between each other instead of all this aggravation? That's why I created the International Day of Calm on April 5th to really start being in control of our emotions and understanding each other and listening and learning about each other. Oh, hi, Alyssa. Love you, girl. Okay, so why do relationships tend to fall apart? And what do we need? What is the trick that we need? They mostly fall apart because people start feeling invisible. They start feeling like no one's paying attention to them. And that I wonder if I could bend this down a little bit. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No. They start feeling like everything they do is undervalued. You know, if you're like home, a partner comes in and goes, "What have you done all day? Do you just sit around all day?" Clearly, none of us, especially if you have children, sit around all day. We only wish we could sit around for 5 minutes, right? There's no you lose yourself. You lose the ability to have me time. This is what happens in relationships if we're not intentional about keeping them together. And then we lose intimacy. And intimacy in a relationship, let me tell you, it's not sex. Sex is intimate, yes. But true intimacy is 2 people talking to each other and sharing their most important details of a day and having the other partner actually listening to them. That's intimacy. That is true intimacy. So now this broadcast is all about the trick to true love, to long lasting love. And trick being T.R.I.C.K. And I'm going to talk about each one and discuss why you need every one of those letters in your love life. Okay. So here's the T. The T is for trust. Okay, remember we're spelling trick. The T is for trust. If you don't trust your relationship, if you don't have trust with the partner, your other human, it's hard to have a strong, committed to relationship. If you're always doubting them, you're always suspicious, you're always, well, where are they? I'm sure they're seeing somebody else. When you have no idea if they're seeing someone else. And sometimes you're assuming instead of listening and asking questions and being open with each other. So trust is mandatory. Now, if trust has been destroyed, somebody caused that trust to be eliminated, it's hard to rebuild. It can be rebuilt, but it's hard. It's a long path, and you have to be intentional, determined, and persistent to build that trust back. So if you're willing and you want a relationship to work and trust has been eliminated by the fault of one of you, then work hard to build it back. Okay. All right. That's the T in trick. The R is respect. This is the trick to long lasting love. Respect. Honestly, guys, if you don't have respect for each other, you don't have a relationship. You have to respect each other. You have to appreciate them. You have to speak nicely to them. You don't cuss and fight and yell and call names and hit and be aggressive. That is not respectful to anyone. And that's a sure way to destroy a relationship. In my relationship, my marriages of almost 40 some years, there was no calling names and cussing and yelling. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to emphasize that you need to treat your partner respectfully. Even through divorce, that didn't exist because I still respect my ex-husband. Now, there are many reasons why people have exes and there's no respect there. And I get it. Abusive relationships, I get that. Kills all respect. And if that happened to you and you're out of that relationship, thank goodness. I'm glad you took action. But in a loving relationship, you have to be respectful for each other, to each other. You can't make assumptions. You can't be accusatory. You have to be respectful. The I of trick. So T is trust. R is respect. I in the word trick is integrity. What is integrity? Many people don't even know. I personally am a person of integrity, and I deal with and are friends with other people that also have integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is living by your beliefs, your core values, and following through with what you say you're going to do. As a parent, if you threaten something for your kids that you're going to take away or you're going to leave a party or you're going to do something, if you say you're going to do it, do it. Don't keep threatening it because then kids will never believe you and they will never listen to you because everything's an idle threat. If you are doing something in a relationship and your other partner behaves in some way that you don't approve, or they're shouting and yelling, or maybe they're not listening and they're going off and they're just doing their own thing and they have no regard for you. And you're like, well, I'm going to do the same thing. Even though you don't approve of what that person is doing, and you say, I'm going to do the same thing. Well, let me tell you, why are you doing something you don't agree with just because they did? That doesn't make it right. So that is part of living with integrity, is actually doing what your core values are and your beliefs are. Okay, so T is trust, R is respect, I is integrity, C is communication. Yes, Alyssa said, intimacy starts with conversation and communication. You have to have communication. If you're wondering what's going on or you're having a bad day, then or your partner walks in and hasn't had a great day, sit down, talk about it calmly. Don't take it out on the other person. Talk about what's going on. How are they feeling? How can you help? And sometimes help looks like just sitting there and listening, or sometimes help looks like letting them have 15 minutes to just relax and regroup. Sometimes help is not always chiming in and giving solutions. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. So be supportive. Talk between you and your partner, you and your children. Ask questions and become a really good listener. The best listeners are the best communicators. Okay? Listen again. The best listeners are the best communicators. They're not always chiming in. They're not the ones talking. They're asking questions and they're giving the person a chance to talk, explain, and express what they need to without interruption, without going, oh, yeah, I know how you feel. I was so guilty of thinking my husband should already know what to do to help, but I really had to tell him that was a game changer. Yes, exactly, Alyssa. That is huge. And I'm glad you brought that up. Don't assume your partner knows what you want. Nobody is a mind reader. Maybe somebody's a mind reader. I don't know who, but there may be actually a real mind reader out there. But for the most part, none of them are. None of us are. So ask. Don't just assume, well, why do I have to tell him? He should know. Why do I have to ask her? She should know. Why? Why should they know? If they've never known, why should they know? It's like I had clients and was one of our discussions early on was how upset she got because he never made a big deal out of her birthday. And he didn't make a big deal out of his birthday because he grew up without birthday parties or anything else. So birthdays were not a big deal. So he didn't think anything of it. That was his norm. His norm was birthdays are not a big deal. She was getting mad and resentful because he wasn't getting presents and taking her to dinner and doing all this celebration for her birthday. And when we had this discussion, he literally said, I did not know. I will change from now on. I will make it a point to celebrate your birthday. You have to speak up. Don't assume. You know what they say about assumptions. When you assume, you make an arse out of you and me. So don't give up. It's a preconceived misconception that partners should automatically know what other one wants, but they can actually know. They can't actually know what they're not told. Exactly. So exact. That's so true. You have to let your partner know when A, you need something, B, something is not going right, 3, you have a problem maybe with someone else or a child or something. You have to talk about things calmly. And if you get in a conversation and in the heat of the moment, you get excited or you start getting aggravated, give each other permission to walk away and calm down and then come back and start over. Because screaming matches get you nowhere. Nowhere. You yelling, them yelling doesn't get anywhere. And the important thing is to remember that your relationship is now your child's norm for a relationship. They are learning how to be in a relationship from you. So if you're in this dysfunctional relationship, guess what they're going to be in? They're going to be also in a dysfunctional relationship. Sometimes it's annoying when it feels like something so obvious, but it's better to say something than say nothing Exactly, and wasting time on getting aggravated. Exactly, and I'm a great example of that. And guys, if this is helping, give me a number 1 through 10 if this is helping you, because I really, wanna know what, you know, message you're getting, and if this is throwing a aha moment to you and going, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" So, wait, I can't see this one message. Sometimes it's annoying when it feel blah, blah, blah. I read that. It's also important to model expressing needs to children. Yes, number 10. I'm glad it's helping. Yes, it's very important to model all of this to your children. They're learning and watching everything you do, everything you say. All right. So make sure your communication is often, it's calm, it's respectful, and you're bringing up things instead of assuming things. You're informing the other of stuff that you'd like to know. Oh, the good story I was going to tell you is when my kids were younger, there was a dirty sock on the steps. Who hasn't experienced dirty sock on the steps? We all have. And I decided, you know what? I'm not picking it up. I'm not picking it up. And every day I walked by this dirty sock for like 5 days. Did anybody pick it up? No, because it didn't bother anyone else. So for 5 days, I was getting totally aggravated that this sock was on the step. And finally, you know who picked it up? Me. So had I just picked up the sock from the get-go and put it in the laundry, I would have allowed myself 5 days of not getting aggravated. Sometimes you just got to do, and you've got to pick and choose those battles, my friends. You really have to pick and choose battles. Here is another example. Excuse me. Another example is that my husband used to not close cabinet doors. I shouldn't say used to. He still isn't closing cabinet doors sometimes, not all the time. And oh, good, Sharon. I'm so glad it's helping you. So I said to him, I said, honey, I figured out why you don't close cabinet doors. And I actually showed him. I said, here's the thing. You hold on to the door. You hold on to the handle. Now, here's the problem. You're letting go. Don't let go of the handle. Hold the handle, open the door, take out what you need with the other hand, and close the door. Never letting go of the handle. You see that? That's the problem is you let go. And we laughed. And now, honestly, if the closet door's open, I just close it. Is it really worth an aggravating, or parenting moment where he thinks I sound like his parent? No. The door's open, I close it. Pick and choose your battles. What's really important? One of the tips Celia provided was taking a pause to cool off and walking away from an argument so it doesn't escalate. My 5-year-old now expresses when he needs to pause and cool off. Yay, he is learning how to self-regulate. Yes, yes, yes. So proud of you, Alyssa. As a mom, we do clean up a lot after everyone. We do. And the situation with that is that although we clean up all the time, it's important to help your children take on responsibility as well. Because responsibility is learned by giving responsibility. You can't create a responsible child without giving that child responsibility. So remember that. Okay. So we've got trick. T is for trust. R is for respect. I is for integrity. C is for communication. And let's add calm to that. Calm communication. And K. What is K for? K is for kindness. Be kind to each other. Be thoughtful. Be compassionate. Put yourself in the other person's shoes once in a while. See life from their perspective. It's not all about you. We only can control what we control, and that is us. You can't control another person's behavior or feelings or anything like that, but you can try to see the world from their perspective. What is your partner seeing? What is your child seeing? What is life like for them? Be kind. Be thoughtful. Don't assume. Thank you. Thank you. Love you too, Alyssa. Love you too. Be kind, be gentle. And remember that sometimes if you put your opinions, put your thoughts in the perspective of someone else, you might just see the world a little different way. You might see if your partner's been working all day and they come home, they might just be tired, hungry, and irritable. So give them a break. Let them regroup. You may not be able to just start a conversation immediately. Recognize other people from their point of view. You can't control what they do, but you can certainly be compassionate and feel and sense what they're feeling and what the kind of mood they're in and the perspective they're coming to from their world. And you know what? The more you do that, the more they learn to do the same for you. Okay? So, send a surprise love note to your honey today. Don't forget to thank them for any effort they've put in. Maybe they did the dishes. And men, if you're listening, remember that us women love to have things done for them. We love an act of service so that we don't have to do it. So that's a great gift, you know? So surprise, that's a great gift. But be appreciative of each other. Be grateful. When they do something, thank them. Don't let your partner feel invisible. And don't forget about yourself. Don't let yourself be invisible. You matter too. Okay? Don't be the sacrificial lamb. All right, guys. I hope this helped. Thank you so much for spending this time with me out of your busy schedule. I know you're busy and you have things to do, and I'm grateful that you chose to be here with me. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Spread love every day of the year, just not on February 14th. Every day should be a day of love. I wish you always peace, love, and tons of laughter. Laughter can be really intimate too. Super fun. It's great to laugh and have a good time. And I'll see you next time. Next week, I'll go live. But in the meantime, I'll see you a lot right here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching. Have an awesome day. And give hugs and kisses to your honey whenever you see them next, and tell them how much you love them, along with your kids. Bye-bye, everybody.